Thanks for the material. No, thank you for being here on Sunday. Yes, I know that for some people it is like, oh, Sunday morning, especially, no, but and we know that you as teachers, you work from Monday to Fridays and sometimes Saturdays. So thank you. So today is a perfect day. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, hello, Elena, Luisa, Consuelo, Milagros, Lucy, Luis Alberto, Elena, Beatriz, Carmen. Okay, so let's see. Let's continue admitting. In case you haven't received the material, it's because you registered after 9:15 a.m. today. Yes? Even though we were having these notifications in WhatsApp, but there are some people who just registered some minutes ago. So for that reason, you couldn't receive the materials. Okay, perfect. So if you check the materials, yes, you can notice that there are so many activities that we have prepared. Yes, but first of all, yeah, I just want to see, or maybe your faces. So I'm going to ask you to open your cameras, or otherwise, I want to have emoticons. Yes, because every time that we have webinars, we like to have like two pictures. Yes, the first one is how we open, and the second one is how we finish the webinar. So I'm continuing admitting people here. So I'm going to count until 3, and I want to see, are your faces to take the photo or emoticons? Yes. So let's see. Let's see. It's Sunday morning, so I think everybody has drunk coffee. So 1, 2, 3. Emoticons or faces? I'm going to take a picture. Thank you, Elena. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Mayra. Thank you. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yes, let's continue. I'm going to take a big picture to Facebook. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Excellent, 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 excellent. So I have here, this is like the evidence. And let's see. Just give me a second. I'm going to put it here so you can go to Facebook. And let's continue. Okay, admitir. My name is Milagros Correa. Yes, I don't know if you saw me anytime in Facebook or maybe TikTok or maybe Instagram. Yes, and we have this Escuela de Capacitación with one purpose, with one vision and mission. Yes, is to provide materials to all teachers in Peru, to provide materials to all English teachers in Peru. Our purpose is to, well, this is not our purpose. This is our vision, is that teachers increase their level every time. Yes, sometimes, and we know and we are aware that teachers in Peru not just come from universities. Yes, sometimes they come from institutes or maybe pedagogical institutes or just maybe institutes of English. That is okay. But here with us, we want you to have more materials. Yes? So, are you ready to start? Are you ready to start? I want to listen to you. Are you ready to start? Yes or no? Because today,
Yes.
what is the topic? Thank you. Yes, that's the attitude. What is the topic today? What is the topic? Today, we are going to talk about activities and some games for English learners. You can adapt these materials, or sorry, these activities for primary, secondary, and tertiary level. What is tertiary level? For example, if you work, I don't know, at a language center, or maybe university, or maybe you have your private classes, yes? And students are not very motivated all the time. Textbooks sometimes are boring, and the syllabus also is just complicated to follow. So we know that you are coming back to the presential classes. And for that reason, we hope, and I hope, because we have created this material with much love, that you can enjoy, and the most important, apply in your classes since tomorrow. So let's start here. Okay. Our topic today is funny games and activities in the English class. Yes, as you can see, this is my picture here. Yes, this is our Facebook. So maybe you are here because you saw the advertisement here, and thank you for that. But the first question for you is, what do you need to consider to plan a game or activity in your class? There are four elements that we have considered, but I want you to tell me, maybe you can use the chat, etc. What do you need to consider to plan a game or activity in your class? Because it's not, I see this game or I see this activity and I am going to do it tomorrow. Yes? What things do you need to consider? Who can tell me or who can write it? I'm going to see the chat in this moment. Who can
Well,
tell me?
yes, in my case, I consider to plan a game all the time because it's because this kind of activities engage students to work better, and also the knowledge is fun for them, and also they learn more, no, because they they learn by playing. That is the point. And also, if you have some according also to the topic, no, but it is very important to plan a game all the time. That is what I consider.
Thank you so much, Maria Luisa. Thank you so much. Yes, sometimes when we plan our classes, we just focus on the 3 moments. Yes, I'm going to talk in a general form, not according to Minedu, etc., or maybe according to your school, according to the general form of teaching. There are 3 processes. Yes, the presentation of the topic, then it comes the practice, and finally the production. Yes, what they are going to do. Inside the production, there are other sub-levels, and inside the presentation, there are other steps. So in the other steps that we have during the presentation, there are the warmers. Yes, the warm-up activities. There are some teachers, for example, who play videos or who play music that is perfect, yes? But what do you need to consider before doing that? The first thing will be, let's see, the objective of your class. What do you want to teach that day? Besides teaching, what do you want that your students learn? Because there is a quote that I really like, that I really love, that is, stop saying that you are a teacher and that you teach all the time. Instead, you can say that you help your students to learn. Imagine the power of this, yes? How different this is. One thing is just to teach and you say, oh, today I'm going to teach the simple present. Today I'm going to teach the simple past. You can teach, but are your students learning? That is another question, yes? So if you say, today I am going to help my students to learn simple present, how to use simple present. Today I am going to help my students how to pronounce these words. What do you think the difference is? If you just teach, you are going to find resources and resources and resources to teach, just to give information. But if you help students, you are going to look for more ideas, more ways that all your students learn. Please, thumbs up if you think or if you agree with me. This is not the same to teach and to help students learning the language. What do you think? Do you agree, or maybe you say, no, Milagros, this is something crazy? Okay, I want to see you. Yes. Okay, yes. This is a big difference. This is a big difference. So from now on, you are not more teachers. Yes, you are not teachers. You are helpers. You are facilitators of the language. So for that reason, before you plan your class, before you plan your game, you are going to have in mind, or keep in mind, sorry, the objective. What else? The level of your students. Yes, the level of your students. It doesn't matter if your students are in a kindergarten, in primary, secondary, or maybe they are advanced students. It doesn't matter, because what it matters is the expectations that you as teacher, you have with your students. There is a quote, and I think that you have that in the material, that sometimes students are not slow to learn. Sometimes teachers are slow to teach. What does it mean? That sometimes, to not say many times, we limit our students. Yes, we say, for example, oh, they cannot learn, I don't know, all the tenses in 1 year because we have to separate the topics. Yes, but again, before planning the game, you are going to consider objectives. You are going to consider the level of students. You are going to consider time. How much time do you have with them? Maybe if you have classes of 3 hours, 1 hour, or maybe 2 hours, etc. per week, no? Obviously, if you have less time, your activities have to be very, very well planned. You cannot improvise, and you cannot say, oh, today I'm going to do this activity in maybe 10 minutes, but at the end, this is 20 minutes. When you do that, so it means that the teacher hasn't prepared well, okay? And something more important, who can tell me? There is one other element that we need to consider when we have many students in a classroom. Because each student is obviously one person, and as this is one person, it has different what? Who can tell me? What is that something that we have that makes us different from the others? Who can tell me?
Different types of learning.
Yes, thank you, Maria. Thank you so much. And if we go to the psychological aspect, these different kinds of different ways to learn is because we have different what? You can tell me. We have different, for example, I am good at English, I am good at communication, my husband is good at mathematics, so.
Skills, abilities.
Ability.
More, one word.
Skills.
No, another.
Styles.
No.
Personality.
Intelligences.
Yes,
Mhm.
Mila.
Yes.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All the students in our class don't have the same, or they don't have the same intelligence.
Mhm.
So we cannot work just thinking on the ideal student. Who is your ideal student? Who is your ideal student? The student that is like this. The teacher goes there and he or she goes there. The student, the teacher says something and the student is participating. That is the ideal.
Uh-huh.
Yes? Yes,
Mhm.
the person who is engaged to the teacher. However, there are some students who like to imagine, to visualize. Others like to sing, like to listen to music. Others just like reading. Others like calculating. Yes? So, the fourth aspect is a multiple intelligence. Yes? Now, the question for you is, do you know there is one person who is I am admitting a long time ago and cannot end. Okay. What are those multiple intelligences? Do you remember? Maybe we studied this at the university, no? But do you remember what are those multiple intelligences?
Linguistic.
Okay, that is one, linguistic.
Audiovisual.
Interpersonal.
Yes.
Intrapersonal.
Interpersonal.
Kinesthetic.
Intrapersonal.
Yes.
Kinesthetic.
Yes, here we have
Mhm.
linguistic,
Visual.
logical, mathematical, visual, spatial, yes, musical, bodily, kinesthetic, yes. I remember many years ago when I started to teach, I had one student. His name was Jose, yes, and he was to the class singing. And when we talked to him, we had to sing. Hi, Jose, how are you? Hi, Miss. Yes, Jose, did you understand? Jose, do you... all the time, because that was his way of learning. So actually, this is important to know. What multiple intelligences do you have in your class? The other one is interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalistic. Obviously, if you, for example, have like a conversation activity where everybody has to talk, to interact to others, and you have interpersonal students, they are not going to feel comfortable at this activity, yes? Because they are going to be shy, they are not going to talk, they are going to speak very, very low. So in that case, you cannot say, no, you don't speak. No, what you have to do is, identify, yes, and deliver another activity, or maybe you have to be with this person next to him or next to her, so he or she feels comfortable and secure about what he or she is saying. For that reason, my dears, I have this question for you. Which is or which are your highest intelligence or intelligences? Do you know? Please, I want you to use the chat and tell me so far, because we have a quiz. I want you to tell me what is your highest intelligence? And let's see after some minutes if you were right. Yes? So please use the chat. Thank you. Wow, musical, visual, bodily kinesthetic. I'm almost sure it's interpersonal. Patricia, so you like to talk. Yes, you are very active. Excellent. Visual, musical, visual. I think it's linguistic, body language. Wow, thank you. So, why do you recognize this type of intelligences in yourself? For those who said that you are visual, for example, is because when you read, this is an example, when you read, what do you like to do? You like to imagine what you are reading. Or maybe you are just planning your session in the bus. Yes, you are on the bus and you say, oh, tomorrow I'm going to do this, and you start to visualize, to have concepts, drawings in your mind. Yes? So that is how you recognize yourself. But do you think that your students know what kind of intelligences they have? Do you think that they are aware of that? Or this is maybe just something that their parents say, oh, you have to do this, you have to do this. What do you think? Do your students know what types of intelligences they have?
No, I have no idea, I guess.
Yes, many times until you are maybe in 4th or 5th of secondary, that is the psychological, yes, the psychology teachers start teach about this, they can know and they can recognize, yes? But at the beginning, kindergarten, at primary, the first years of secondary, they don't know. For that reason, my dear colleagues, I have shared with you the first material that we are going to use today, which name is quiz. Okay, I want you to open that. It says quiz. I am going to share it again, so don't worry. Yes, here with you. Yes. So the purpose is that students know. I'm going to start with this. It says, knowing your students and yourselves. We as teachers should be aware of our students and our own intelligences, because the way that you teach is how you learn the language. Yes? Can you recognize that? Maybe if you teach just with grammatical structures and only charts, it's because you learned in that way. Or maybe if you like to play songs in your classes, it's because you learned in that way. So I suppose that those teachers who say that they are visual is because all the time they are drawing, or they are, I don't know, having like maps in a class. Tell me please if this is right or not. All those who say that are visual. We teach according to our way of learning. Yes, Carolina. Yes. Through evaluations, I didn't understand. Of course, yes. Okay. So first, we as teachers, we have to recognize what are our own intelligences. And according to that, we are going to start developing others to help other students. Again, the word help, not to teach. What else do we have here? This is an activity, the first one. It says MI inventory. It's not me, it's MI inventory, multiple intelligences inventory. I want you to read these statements and you are going to check if they are true for you. Only check those statements that are true for you. For example, I am very good at games like Scrabble, anagrams, and crossword puzzles. Okay, number one. I am good at this. Number one. Number two, I can easily compute numbers in my head. If you are good at this, just mark 2. Yes, in your notebook. I can clearly see images when I close my eyes. So for example, this is helpful if you are reading a text. You are reading a text, or maybe you are listening to a song, or just listening listening, not watching the television, and you are imagining what is happening. Number 4, I know the tunes to many songs. That's my case. I know the tunes, but I don't know the names. Yes. Next one. I need to practice a new skill rather than seeing it on a video or reading it. So if you read, you don't understand. You have to do it. Number 6, I love getting involved in social activities at work, at school, at your community, at church, etc. Next one. I have a diary to record events of my inner life. 8, I really love nature and being outdoors. Yes. 9, English, social studies, and history were much easier than math and science. Next one. I love doing experiments and I'm really interested in the new developments in science. For example, that is not my case. I like to draw, doodle, yes, doodle, garabatear, doodle, or sketch the ideas or concepts I learn. I can tell when a music note is off key. For example, somebody is singing. Yes, oh, no, she's singing badly. Yes, because she's out of the rhythm. So you can recognize that. I find it difficult to sit still for long periods of time. I enjoy teaching other people what I know, because there are people who don't like to teach. No, all the information for them, no, not to teach. I would prefer to spend a week alone in a cabin than in a crowded street, in a crowded resort, hotel, etc. I have classified a collection of rocks, shells, flowers, books, something that you have collected. Books are very important to me. I read at least 2 books a month. I search for patterns and the logical sequence of things. I can find my way easily around unfamiliar territory. So it means that you go to a new place and you easily, yes, are talking to people. 21. I usually use hand gestures and body language when talking. And there are different here, for example, we can notice 2 different types of teachers, no? There are some teachers that are, for example, in the class, hi students, good morning. Today we are going to talk about the global warming. Yes, it's a big problem. What do you think? Yeah, they don't move. They are like a statues, right? And there are other teachers who like to express themselves. Which one are you? I can easily, I consider myself a leader and people used to follow what I say. This is the real teacher, I think. I regularly spend time alone reflecting about important issues. These are, for example, for introverted students. I love fishing, gardening, growing plants, or taking care of animals. Yes? So, please, now, according to what you have circled or all the numbers that you have, I want you to tell me which intelligences do you have. For those who marked, for example, numbers 1, 9, or 17, it means that you have linguistic intelligence. For those who marked 2, 10, 18, logical and mathematical intelligence. So please, I want you to tell me, I am going to see the chat and tell me please which intelligence you have or intelligences you have. Nobody? Yes, please, so write in the chat, or maybe you can tell me very quickly what intelligences you have. Milagro says linguistic, visual, musical, kinesthetic, okay. Interpersonal, musical, linguistic, Who else? Janet says visual. And was it the same what you thought at the beginning? Was it the same? When you said, I am visual. So now, do you have the same answer or do you have something else? What is your conclusion now? Yes, the same. Okay, Milagro, thank you so much. Yes, let's see. Visual, yes. And why do you think that it's common to have visual, kinesthetic answers here? Because we are what? We are teachers, yes? And we have to move, we have to be creative, we have to plan, we have to imagine many things. So there is no way that we have an interpersonal here, yes? Because we need to talk all the time. The same I want you to do with your students. Maybe you can adapt or maybe you can use images just to help them understand. But it's important for them to know what kind of intelligence they have. And according to that, they are going to learn better. And according to this information, you are going to help them more. Okay? Do you agree with me? Yes or no? Yes, Sonia. Yes. Do you agree with me? Thumbs up if you agree with me. Do you think that you can do this in your classes? Yes or no? Let me see. Only 3 thumbs up? Also, it means that only 4 people are listening, huh? Remember? Okay. Only 5 people. Okay, 6 with Beatriz. Okay, so let's see. Excellent. Now, once that you know what kind of intelligence they have, listen, or in this case, read all the things that you can have with your students to help them. For example, if you recognize there are linguistic students, so you are going to practice discussions at any level, storytellings at any level, debates, word games, publishing stories. If you have some mathematical students, you can have some logic problems. And for example, the critical thinking activities come in this part. Yes, Lourdes, I don't know what you are doing. Yes, please. And also you can have calculations, you can have experiments. And now I am going to present you an activity with experiments. Visual spatial. Yes, Lourdes, please. I don't know what you are doing. Okay. If your students are visual spatial, use mind maps, yes, diagrams. I am going to give you today a link to a page of graphic organizers because that is a perfect way to present the topic, not just by lists, but also with diagrams. For example, the Venn diagram. Do you remember the Venn diagram, el diagrama de Venn, when we were at school? Do you remember them? Who remembers? The Venn diagram. Who remembers?
Sí, recuerdo. I remember.
Yes? No? Intersección. Okay? How can you use that? For example, when you are working with comparisons between Lima and Callao, for example, you want to have like the comparison, differences and similarities. So the intersection, yes, because it's something like this, yes, something like this. So the intersection can be the similarities. And other sides, you can have the differences. So that is a good way and another way to present a topic. Let's continue here. You have this information for you to read, okay? But I want to focus on this. In a traditional classroom, the teacher hopes that everything, everyone is the same. The greater the difference in ability levels, the more difficult the job of the teacher. What is the problem nowadays? That we learn to teach in one way. That we learn how to evaluate in one way, only with numbers. But if the teacher doesn't develop other ways, if the teacher doesn't know how to evaluate in a different way, so probably you are going to accomplish with the topics, you are going to finish the book, but your students at the end of the year are not going to learn as much as you wanted at the beginning. For that reason, we need to continue learning. And here I wrote this. We know, we as Escuela de Capacitación, we know that you are looking for new ways to teach. That's why you are here. Yes or no? Tell me, yes or no? That is the reason that you are here on Sunday morning. Yes or no? Yes. Thank you for your answers. Now, this is an activity if you want to do it. It says, how smart are you? That is a big question. How smart are you? Not how intelligent. How smart are you? Your students can create posters, can create maps, can create logos, jingles, poems, role-playings, yes? Saying why their intelligence, once they have identified what type of intelligence they have, so after that, you can say, okay, this group, visual, that group, kinesthetic, that group is logical, mathematical. Now, according to your intelligences, I want you to create some of these. a poster, a map, maybe a problem, yes, for mathematics, saying why their intelligence is important and special. For example, no, those who are mathematical, you can say, oh, our intelligence is important to the world because we help to calculate. We help to have formulas around the world for science, etc. Again, voy a hacer un paréntesis. Muy respetuosamente les pido a aquellas personas que están haciendo estas líneas que las dejen de hacer, por favor. ¿Listo? Porque sí incomoda la visibilidad, una, mía, que es que estoy presentando el tema, y segundo, porque no se ve bien. ¿Podemos hacerlo, please? Yes? Thank you. So, then it says, then show them proudly to the class. So after this, you can stick all the works around your classroom and have like an exhibition. Yes, that is perfect. What else can you do? I have just highlighted the most important. After that, you can read more. I have this first activity. It says vocabulary adjectives. As you can notice here, you have fruits, you can have vegetables. But what is the common? The common thing is that you have, okay, what is this? This is an apple. What is this? This is a mango. Okay, perfect. But what will happen if you blindfold your students? Yes, if you blindfold your students and you give the fruit or the vegetable and they touch, they smell, they feel, and maybe they can try it, yes? And they recognize from the experience, they recognize what fruit or vegetable this is. That can be better, yes or no? So they are going to not just learn the name of the fruit, but also they are going to learn more adjectives. Sweet, sour, yes, maybe they are going to discover if they like it or not. Some fruits, some vegetables, yes? So this is the first activity for you. Describing fruits and vegetables through the 5 senses. You are going to touch, smell, feel, taste. Okay, but for that, they have to be blindfolded, okay, with the eyes covered. You can have variations of this activity because we are not going to work only with this. You can work, for example, with shapes, no, with different forms, different objects, and according to that level, they are going to have more vocabulary, okay? Please tell me if this is helpful for you so far, yes or no. Please tell me. Are we okay? What do you think about this first one? Did you do it? Did you practice something like this? It's a good idea, yes. Out of common. What else? That is one part. Maybe you just can give the student the real fruit or vegetables that they are going to touch, etc., to discover. And another one is to describe. Yes. For example, one student is blindfolded, yes, and the other is explaining, this is green, it tastes like this, it is sour, or maybe this is very sweet, it is long, it is small, and the student who is blindfolded has to guess, Obviously, this is a controlled practice. Y acá me voy a detener un segundo porque voy a hacer la diferencia porque me van a escuchar decir 2 palabras en algún momento. Controlled practice and uncontrolled practice. ¿Yes? Le llamamos controlled practice a todas las actividades que están regidas exactamente por el vocabulario y gramática que el profesor ha presentado. ¿Listo? Si estoy trabajando 4 adjetivos, el alumno solo usa 4 adjetivos. Y se le llama uncontrolled practice cuando tengo una actividad libre y el profesor solo monitorea el uso del idioma, más no el contenido per se, porque ya el nivel es diferente. Así que van a escuchar hablar de 2 cosas. In this case, for example, this is controlled practice if you teach previously, you teach your students a list of words, and they have to use the list of words in this exercise, okay? What else? It says here, playing with strength, yes? So your students are going to be superheroes, and they are going to practice I can, or maybe you can, or maybe she can, according to the level. What is the idea here? It says fill in blanks for comic bubbles. Yes, you can have the comics. You are going to create jingles. Yes, short paragraphs of some verses. You are going to form a superhero gang in your class. Imagine, no? The most challenging can be that they don't have the common names. Maybe they can invent their own names. They are going to be their own heroes. They can act out these role plays, and they are going to personalize journals, no, what they do in case you require. Here it says, the students can sketch and can create new superhero uniforms and gadgets. Not just the name of the superhero, not just the ability of the superhero, but also how the superhero wears and what he or she has as gadgets. Yes? And here I say they can also make them. So not just describe it, but also make them, produce, and you continue practicing with them. For the higher level, I wrote here, they can publish some articles. For example, how can these superheroes that they have created can save the environment? Yes. Or what can they do for Peru, for example? How can they help Peru? That is for advanced students, yes. The topic is going to be the same, the superheroes. They are going to use can or can't or other structures, but the complexity is the question. So not just creating the superheroes, but also what is their function in the world. Do you like it? Do you like this activity? Yes or no? Okay, let me see the chat. Okay. And project work. As a follow-up, yes, so as a next activity, students get together to plan a project in mixed groups with individuals from different intelligences. Again, they have practiced the vocabulary, they have created the superheroes, etc. And now you can select people from different groups, you combine them, you have a new group, and you have this project work. So what do you have? What are you going to have? You are going to have multiple intelligences in one group. Yes? Every member has to take charge of a different part of the project. For example, one is the leader, the other is the person in charge of drawing, of the other one is who is going to present the topic orally, yes, because it's he or she has better abilities for that, etc. So you establish the roles, and then you combine these people in one group, and according to the roles, they are going to work. That is why I call this a team. Because when you have a team, you have roles. When you have groups, it's just everybody doing the same activity just together. But when you have teams, you have the leader of the team, you have the secretary of the team, you have the painter of the team, the drawer of the team, etc. See the difference? Group, everybody does the same, just together. But in a team, everybody has different responsibilities. Yes, and that is much better to use. Okay, until here, do you have questions? Questions? Okay, so now it's time for you to work with this. Yes? Here it says, now that you know more about multiple intelligences, what new ideas come to your mind? You'll be in groups for 4 minutes, maybe less, maybe 3 only. And don't worry because we are going to finish all the material. And you'll discuss what activities you practice in class to help students develop their multiple intelligences. Again, you'll be in groups, and because you don't have any role, so you are going to discuss the same question, and you'll discuss what activities you practice in class to help students. Yes? So let's see, this is going to be aleatory. Okay, so, and I'm going to enter to all the rows. You are in this moment 61. Thank you so much for that. So let me see. Salas. We're going to have just 8. And let's start. 3 minutes, okay? And please try to speak in English. Thank you, Maria. Maria is in the group. Nobody else? Aha, Janet, thank you. Mayra, Rosario, thank you. Roxana, thank you. Mari, thank you. Luisa, Ruth, Shirley, thank you. Let me see, who is the first group to be full? Who is the first group to be full? En sala 5, solo queda una persona para que se una. Give me a second. Zoila, en sala 1. Let's see. Ok, aquí nos damos cuenta quiénes están participando. Yes, aquí nos damos cuenta quiénes están participando. Room number 1, Luisa, María Luisa, Maritza, Rosay Castillo, Ruth Montañez, Shirley Catherine, Zoila Álvarez. Room number 2, Fiorella, Lisette, Karina, Lisette Raiza, Luis Alberto, Mari, Nalda, Shirley Beatriz. Sala 3, Adriana Solano, Lourdes Chino, Patricia Mosqueira, Roxana Galvez, Valeria Torres. Room 4, Consuelo, Greti, Janet Velázquez, Janet Aguirre, Natalie, Jenny. Sala 5, Clarisa, Edith, Mayra González, Mayra Mesa, Rosario Cruz, Sonia Margot. Room 6, Carolina, Janet, Milagro Félix, Pilar Marocho. Room 7, Carmen Pareja, Joyce Hidalgo, Lucy, Rosana. Room 8, Karen Castillo, Melissa, Ruth Marquín, Talía, Miriam. Yes? Ok. Aquellos que he llamado son los que van a tener participación. Mhm. Perfect. Let's see. Who wants to share the ideas that you have talked in your groups?
Thank
Yes,
you, Matt,
just
for the
remember
opportunity.
the questions is, I want you to discuss what activities you usually practice in class to help your students, and maybe now with this idea so far, you can say, oh, we can implement this. Who wants? Only two people, please. Very short, okay, to tell me what common activities. Bingo for teaching vocabulary. Okay, Carolina, thank you. Somebody who wants to use the microphone. Talia says hangman.
Yes.
And today I'm going to teach you a variation of hangman. Yes, who
Okay.
wants to do
Okay.
Milagros?
Okay. We talk in our group some well, I was sharing about my participation as teacher. I am teaching right now at kinder preschoolers, so I use songs. I use flashcards, so I work with their visual, right? And also kinesthetic because I made them clap and jump, stomp their feet. So that was my case. And there was another partner who was sharing with us. Then she told me that she used a kind of I don't remember. She used my images too. Also, I mean flashcards too. They have to use the vocabulary to guess. Yeah. Okay. In groups, they make them work in
Okay,
groups. So the one
okay.
they have to guess the
Mhm.
the idea that the verbs because they work with verbs, and the other group they help each other because they made them work in group because she noticed that they don't know how to work in groups. And there was
Okay.
another partner who shares that she
Mhm.
works in Pictionary with kind of Pictionary.
Dictionaries.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Patricia.
You're welcome.
Okay, someone, well, I'm not going to let another person because you have written many things in the chat, yes, which is perfect. So far, how are we? How do you feel so far? Please, just stretch a little, yes. How far is it? How are you today so far? Oh, I don't see anything. I don't see emoticons. I don't see anything. No faces, anything. A little tired, Lucy. Why? Because it's Sunday? Yes? What else? Now let's go with I'm learning new techniques. Thank you, Shirley. Hungry, says Luis Alberto. Oh my God. Well, we don't deliver coffee now. Yes. Okay, so let's see. Everything is good. Okay, Rosalita, thank you so much. Now let's go to the second material. Yes, just give me a second. Here it is. Speaking to other students in English. What can be the problem with this? What can be the problem? There are many students who think that only the teacher is the correct person to practice speaking. Yes? So there are some students who just want to practice with the teacher. No, with you, no, because I don't learn. Only the teacher. In every language class, we find the typical student who wants to talk just to the teacher. How are you? I am fine, miss. Do you have any questions? Yes, I do. I have one question. What do you think about this? Yes, with the miss. Now, please discuss in pairs, talk in groups, in silence. There are some teachers who are just shy, and that's why they don't want to participate, and they are introverted. However, they need to know that this participation, that this interaction is going to help them to overcome these things. Trying to avoid mistakes, they are going to improve their grammar structures, they are going to practice pronunciation, intonation, and also they are going to use vocabulary. I know, and I can confirm that in many, many, many schools, teachers use Spanish in classes. Yes? It's valid. It's okay. However, my recommendation is try to respect a special space in your class where you say, okay, this moment, just for 20 minutes, we are going to try to speak only in English, the teacher and the students. All the things that you say, for example, from 10 to 10:20, all the things have to be in English. May I go to the bathroom? Do you want to go to the board? Who has an eraser? Who has a pencil? Just for 20 minutes. And then you can increase the time. Sometimes students are afraid of teachers, of English teachers, because since they enter, yes, to the class, hey, hello, everything is in English. And the student, maybe the previous class was mathematics, and then English comes. And say, I don't understand, what is she saying? What? Please repeat. Yes? So the student is confused sometimes. Okay. So maybe if in your class you speak Spanish, you can have a special time, so your students are just going to use that time to speak in English more than in other spaces. Yes? That is just a suggestion for you. Maybe it can be at the beginning, or maybe it can be at the end. Of course, the instructions, etc., have to be in English. However, the moment that they are going to interact between them with the teacher has to be only in English. Yes? See, one activity for you, it says pairing first and then double pairing. What does it mean? Give out half of a picture. Imagine, this is a picture. Yes, I don't know, I don't have a picture. This is a picture. And previously you have cut it. Yes, so you have two halves. Yes, and one is for Pepito and the other is for Adrianita. Give out half of a picture or a brief comment according to the level about the characters to each student to get in pairs. Okay, so part A, part B, you get together. Part A, part B, get together. Different. What else? Talk about the character or topic they have according to the level. Yes, for primary, it can be, for example, a special comics for them or etc. Look for two other students that share the same topic. So at the end, if you have, for example, a cell phone, you have one piece and another piece, another pair is going to have the same. Part A of the cell phone, part B of the cell phone. So first, there is one pair, and then another pair is going to join. So they are not going to be two, at the end they are going to be four. Yes? You can select the topic, you can double the topic according to the length of your class, but at the end you can have four in the group, and they are going to role play. In this activity, you will have students interact with each other using their imagination and sharing ideas. It says here, it's much better to get on the stage with a gang than alone. Yes, because obviously it's better to work with many people. In this case, for example, this is going to be an uncontrolled activity. Yes? If you are working with advanced students or you are working just conversation, just speaking, so you can select these characters, these topics according to what you have taught before, and this is going to be like a recycling for them. Okay, a special moment where they are going to use the language according to the topic or character that you have delivered, and they are going to produce individually. You are not going to control the language. They are just going to use it. However, if you want to work with primary or maybe basic students, you can deliver first the vocabulary, the structure at the beginning, and at the end, you can provide these pictures and they are going to use that vocabulary and that grammar structures to have these conversations. So that is a controlled practice. Yes? So you can use this activity for both moments, uncontrolled practice or controlled practice. What else? We go to the action. For example, you have these pictures. Yes, everybody knows these pictures. Everybody understands the drama of these stories. So they are going to prepare their own role play. They are going to prepare what you want. Maybe a description, maybe just to tell the story, etc. Or maybe they just can represent this by using charades, mimics, or acting out like your favorite character. For example, a person who speaks like El Chavo, a person who speaks like Superman, yes, a person who dresses like Snow White, etc. So that is the variation. I have written here some notes. Students stand up and get together. Yes, please avoid the uses of chair. Avoid that. Try to, okay, everybody stand up, get together. They can do this activity for 5 minutes, yes? And you monitor, you just walk around to see what they are saying. If they are speaking Spanish, so you can translate, yes? Or you can help them to use English. Practice grammar structures, vocabulary given in previous classes or maybe in that class. For oral skills, invite the students to interview these characters at the end. Yes? So after you have these 4 people in groups, you say, okay, now one of you is going to be the interviewer. Yes, and the other is going to be just the person or the character, and they are going to role play and interview. That is very nice. My experience is that students enjoy a lot because imagine that you are interviewing Superman with the attitude, etc. So that is super, super nice. Yes? What do you think about this? Do you like it? Yes or no? Do you like it? Yes or no? Just thumbs up. I want to see you.
It's interesting.
Okay, thank you. Story makers, yes? Here it says, write 2 titles. I underlined or highlighted 2 titles because you can use more titles. Yes, you can stick them on your walls because it's going to depend on the quantity of students that you have. What is, it says here, write 2 titles on wallpaper sheets as headings. Yes, only the titles. For example, here we have some titles, no? Sonny finds a new attitude, Eva stands up to peer pressure, Lee is taught truth and trust, Phil discovers self-esteem, etc. Different topics, yes? Give out banners with parts of the stories on them to every student. Give out banners with parts of the stories. Have all the class go around the room finding the rest of their story. Oh, this is my half. Where is the other part? What is our part number 2, part number 3? It works perfectly with long stories. So maybe if you have a story of 5 paragraphs, you can divide them and have 5 students in that group. Yes? When they have them both in order, yes, when they have everything okay, let them place each under the correct title. Because you have the titles on the board, remember? You have the titles on the board, and they have just the stories. So when they finish, when they order the story, they go to the wall and they stick them, they place them in the correct order. Now, something extra that you can do, and as I wrote it here, is like an extension. You can ask your students to continue the story, yes? Or maybe that they include 1 picture, yes? So maybe you can give the paragraphs in 1 picture, yes? So they can match the picture with the title and say, okay, this is, yeah, it has relation with this. Or maybe you can ask your students that at the end, they draw a picture that represents the title or the story. Do you understand? Please tell me yes or no. because these variations try to include different intelligences. You place the title. Yes, first you place the title there. Then you deliver students the pieces of paragraphs. They are going to walk around the class finding, yes, or looking for their partners to have one story. And at the end, you can have, they are going to place it on the wall under the title, and you can ask them to continue the story or maybe to draw like the summary of the story or something that is connected to the title. Yes, you can have this. Do you like it? Do you think that you can use it? When I say reading, please, and pay attention to this. And again, I go back to the beginning of this webinar. Don't limit your students. Okay, don't limit your students. When I say reading, I'm not talking about enormous texts. Maybe you can create a text. For example, if you are talking about clothes, about present continuous, you can create a story. And they can join according to the links that they have. Yes? So monitor, try to model, try to adapt the exercise that you have here with the level of your students, but don't limit them. Don't say, no, this is complicated because this is 6th grade. They cannot do this. No. They can do the activity, but you have to control the text that you are going to present. Okay? For example, with kids, with kindergarten, it works perfectly. Maybe they don't have letters, but you can have different sequences of pictures, for example. Yes, in one picture there is a, I don't know, there is a dog, there is a puppy. In another picture, the puppy is bigger and etc. And then the puppy is with a family, and another pictures with a cat, others with a giraffe, etc. So they are going to get together and form a story. You see, they are not going to use words, but they are going to use images that they understand. Okay? What else? Activity number 3. I don't have a clue. And for this reason, yes, and for this reason, you have, for this activity, you have a special document that I have delivered to you. Have a clue? Comes from a game, for a board game called Clue, okay? In this case, for example, the players each represent a character who is a guest staying at a mansion. Yes, give me a second, I'm going to admit people. Whose owner, Mr. Barry, has been found murdered. Players take on the role of suspects and attempt to solve the murder. The solution to the murder requires the 3 components: suspect, weapon, and room. Okay? And for this, just give me a second. I gave you this. Yes, everybody has received this, no? These are the characters, these are the weapons, and these are the places. Yes, these are the places. So you can copy them, etc., and you can have. And this is a board game, okay? Now, all the students are going to receive this sheet. You can see here, the suspects. They are going to discover. First, they are going to discriminate. Okay, just give me a second. They are going to discriminate according to what they asked, according to the answers that the group has, according to the clues that they can find. So as soon as one student has like the suspicious that a person is the murderer, is going to raise the hand and say, okay, I want to make an accusation. I think Professor Plum is the murderer because he was with the knife in the hall, and at that time it was the murder. Yes? So he is going to make accusations. But the students also are going to receive like a short profile with something similar. The name, the age, what is his job, because you are going to have this information here. Yes, the job. So what else? Where they are. Remember that you are going to deliver this to the students. Yes. So for example, maybe one student is going to be Mrs. White, and she can be at the study, not exactly at the kitchen. She can be at the study, for example, with a revolver. Yes, because you are going to shuffle the cards and then you are going to deliver. The variation in this case is that just one of these characters has the M of murder. Yes, that's it. So I hope that you can use this because actually it's very interesting. This can work better with intermediate students because they know better how to make questions and they can enjoy more. Let's see. Here you have the procedure. Chinese whispers. Yes, I read in the chat that there's one person using the teléfono malogrado, the broken telephone. This is, yes. But for English classes, we work in this way. It says all levels, again, all levels. Depends on you as teachers, again. For this activity, choose a part of a text from the student's book that is a bit challenging. Separate the students in groups, yes, group 1, group 2, etc. They can be standing in lines or making circles. Whispers the first line of the text to an appointed representative of the group. Explain. For example, this is a group, 1, 2, 3, 4 people, yes? And I, as a teacher, I go to the student, it says here, I go to the student and I read the first line of the text. Yes, I read, for example, for this activity, choose a part of a text. The person, yes, the person is going to, here it says, the student is going to say to the, is going to write what he or she heard on a piece of paper. So I whisper to the student is going to write, and that piece of paper is going to be then with the next student. So the next student is going to read the text and is going to like dictate the student, whispering, not saying it aloud, just whispering, and is going to take notes. So at the end, yes, you will have that everybody is going to go to the board, they are going to see, they are going to read, they are going to try to remember, they are going to go to their group, they are going to say. The student who is sitting is going to write, yes, what he or she understands actually, yes. So at the end, what are you going to have? A totally different text from the board. Yes, that is the game. That is the game. So you work there listening, you work speaking, you work pronunciation, you work different skills. They are going to move, they are going to write. So this is perfect. This is perfect. What do you think? Do you like this? And you can have it, for example, for primary, secondary, for advanced students with big texts. Wow, this is fantastic. Yes? What do you think, please? What do you think? You love it. The broken telephone is a good idea for secondary students. Yes, Shirley, but not just for secondary students. I did this activity for third grade students. Wow, and that is fantastic. And it's very funny too. It's very funny because, what? Ah, yo no sabe que esto que el otro. Yes, and they start obviously playing, but it's very funny and they are going to learn more. Another topic for you today is creating and using interactive as well as entertaining activities, not just for intermediate and advanced learners, but we are going to work on the creation, yes? When we talk about creating activities, it means that you are going to model, that you are going to use your hands, you are going to use minds, gestures, etc. Yes or no? That's why you create. For that reason, I like this. It says play status. for practice of new vocabulary with basic level learners. Level beginners, material, blank cards if you want, and time just 10 minutes. What do we have here? Ask a student to help you demonstrate how to do this activity. You, as a teacher, you can be the sculptor while your student is the statue. For example, Pepito, come here, Pepito. And you say a word, for example, you say angry, angry. And the class, yes, because Pepito is here, you say angry. The class tries to model Pepito without touching him. They are going to do mimes. For example, how can you mime an angry person? How can you mime an angry person? Like this, no? So maybe they can say, or like this. Yes, they are not going to speak. They are just going to try to guide Pepito to have an angry face. Yes. And obviously, here I have other notes. You can work this with present simple. For example, if you want to practice action verbs, no? For example, you say read. Then Pepito has to be like this, no? It has to imitate, because the students are going to be the sculptures and another student is going to be the statue. You can work with this in groups, you can do it in pairs, or maybe just one person, because always in a class, there is one volunteer who likes to do these things. So you can have that student in front of the class and the rest are going to model him, yes? And you can work also prepositions, you can use commands, etc. For intermediate students, you can work sequences. So for that reason, you are not going to have just one statue, you can have like 3 people, yes? So they are going to represent a sequence, maybe action 1, action 2, action 3. Again, this is not the activity, but this is the teacher and the creativity, yes? What about this activity? Do you like it? For virtual classes, Adriana, for virtual classes, well, it depends. It depends on what activity. I didn't understand very well. Activity 6, turn out your pockets. Yes? Level, beginners to upper intermediate students, basically secondary students, no? Tell the students to imagine a person, Here, again, I wrote this. You can suggest professions, you can suggest people from different countries, yes, you can suggest artists, etc. You can suggest. So students are going to imagine a person. They will write down a list of 10 to 12 objects this person has in his pockets or handbag. When they are done, ask them to exchange lists, no? Classmate A, classmate B. They will make sketches and write a short description of this imaginary person from the list they have. I received the list, I don't know, my partner's list, and say, oh, this is glasses, dictionary, books, a chalk here, an eraser. This person may be a teacher, okay. My classmate has described the teacher because he mentions that this person has a pen, glasses, a dictionary, an English dictionary. So maybe this person is going to work. So they are guessing. They are not just going to describe and write. They are going to imagine according to a list. Yes? And here again, I have written this. Students may explain why their imaginary person has these objects. This is a variation according to the level. One thing is to receive a list and that they just say, according to the list, I think the person is a teacher because she has an English dictionary. Okay, that is one thing, very basic. But for an upper intermediate student, you can say, okay, explain why. Oh, I think this person is a teacher because a teacher uses English dictionary and that is why what is written in the list. Something else is that it says glasses, so maybe the person or the teacher doesn't see very well. Yes? So you see, the complexity again comes on the teacher and comes on the language, not on the activity. Okay, are you with me? Are you with me, please? Tell me something, are you with me?
Hello, teacher.
Yes.
Yes,
Hi,
yes,
Marie.
of course.
Okay, how are you so far? How is everything? Is it okay? Do you like it? Yes or no?
Yes, the activities are great.
Yes? Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue here. Just give me a second. Next one. Change places if. Wow, this is very common when you, well, I don't know if this is common now, but it used to be common when I went to Paris, no, many years ago. La silla vacía. Yes? Well, this is something very similar. Important. This is a TPR activity. So don't think that your students are going to be in silence. No, no, no. They are going to be very noisy. Yes? This is a TPR activity with the students in a closed circle, with the teacher in the middle to begin the game, because we are leaders. There should always be one less chair than participants. Okay, so if you have 8 participants, how many chairs are you going to have? How many? If you have 8 participants, how many chairs?
7.
7, excellent. A candy for Luisa. Yes, excellent. So, depending on what you want to revise, what you want to reinforce of the language, you can have these sentences. Okay, so again, this is according to the teacher. For example, the teacher says, change places. Do you say, no? Okay, you can move randomly, or maybe everybody moves to the left, or everybody moves to the right. You can decide that. And the teacher says, okay, change places if you are wearing trainers. Oh, for example, I am not wearing trainers, so I don't move. I stay. But if other student is wearing trainers, so he has to move. Yes. For that, obviously, you have to pay attention what language you are going to use, if they are wearing something similar, etc. All students who are wearing trainers must stand up and move to another chair, and the teacher should sit on one of the recently vacated seats. Yes? So the teacher has to move. The person left, the person without a seat, is going to stay now in the middle and is going to give the command. Look at this. So this is, oh, you lost. Just go. No. You lost, apparently, but now you are in charge. You are going to command the group. So the person can say, oh, change places if you, I don't know, if you have a dog in your house, and everybody or all the students who have a dog, what are they going to do? They are going to stand up and they are going to move to another seat, and one person is going to be left. Do you understand? And again, this is according of the language that you want to practice. Another variation can be, for example, that you deliver post-its or small cards with a sentence in past. Look at this. I am thinking you deliver some sentences in past to all the students, and you say, no, for example, change places if yesterday you went to the movies, and you read, no, I went to the restaurant. Movies, okay, there are 2 movies, okay, they stand up and they move. You see, that is another variation, for example. Of course, young learners can be very excited, of course, yes? Now, let's see. It's a charade. It's a nice charade because here it says, verb adverb charade. Create 2 sets of cards. Each set should be on a different color paper. Okay? One group is for verbs and another is for adverbs. And look at this. This game can be played as a whole class or you can divide the class into teams. One at a time, have each student come up to the front of the class and draw a card from the stack of verb cards, ¿no? Va a sacar una tarjeta, en otras palabras. Then the student must act out or pantomime the word on the card. For example, y acá le hemos puesto una lista. For example, one student has the verb, no, draws out, saca la barajita, and says, cut. Okay, that is the verb, cut. So the student says, all the class, cut. Okay, perfect. Ahora, la otra baraja, ¿qué cosa contiene la otra baraja? What does it have? What does it have? Remember? One is for verbs and the other is for?
Adverbs.
Adverbs, yes? And here it says, angrily. Okay. He has to mind. And the students have to guess. Now, you can have this with points, of course. The first student who guesses the verb has 1 point. Another student who guesses the adverb has 2 points. Yes, and they interchange roles. You can work this not just with adverbs and verbs. You can work this with nouns and adjectives, especially to help them understand the order, yes? You can have this with positions, yes? On, in, under, etc. Again, this is the activity, but you decide what the language can be in your class. Yes, the variations. Drawing and reading. Well, actually, this is nothing complicated for students who understand the texts. But the idea is, let's see, students need paper and markers or colored pencils. Tell them you are going to read something. In this case, the teacher is going to read, okay? The teacher is going to read slowly, with rhythm, with intonation, and students are going to draw the story. And I have to confess something. For example, I am a terrible drawer. Terrible. Yes, I don't like this activity. For me, it's very complicated. So I was thinking, meanwhile I was looking for this, I was thinking and say, okay, de repente una variación para aquellos que son terribles como yo dibujando, puede ser que tú ya les des el componente principal. Yes, in this case, for example, the story is about a princess and the pea. Yes, es la princesa y la alberjita. So, what is the most difficult? The princess, yes? Pero lo que no va a variar o lo que no les vas a dar son esos elementos extras que tiene el texto, yes? Acá habla de un castillo, habla de colchones, la historia es muy bonita, espero que la lean, yes? Acá es Princess Double S. Entonces, ustedes pueden hacer la variación de esa manera. O, si el texto es muy simple, que todos hagan el dibujo desde cero, o caso contrario, si el texto es muy complejo, como en este caso, que ustedes le den la parte principal, lo más pesado para dibujar, pero que ellos tengan los otros componentes. Because at the end, the idea is that they have this drawing only, and in groups, they have they retell the story. That is the idea, yes? So that you read slowly so they can draw, and then they are going to look at their pictures and they are going to retell the story. They are going to do that, yeah? What else, my dear colleagues? Working with stories, yes? And for this, for example, to know this, the suggested activity in this case is first to brainstorm. And when you brainstorm, remember, you are going to, for these stories, you are going to have the characters, you are going to have the plot, yes, where this story occurs, that is the place, and some other elements. So, for example, here you have this vocabulary for 3 different stories. And students are going to create this. Okay, so you can implement this in your classes if you want. The settings, the theme, the plot, what occurs first, what is next, etc. For this also, yes, then I am going to give you the link for graphic organizers. Yes, because there are different organizers to have stories. There is one like a triangle where you establish the moments, etc. Okay, and we're with this, pero antes, before, ¿cómo estamos? Please, please, ¿cómo estamos? A ver. Ajá, excellent, excellent. Okay, just give me a second. Okay.
Hello, teacher.
Okay, I am here. I must cook. Yes, Luis? Okay, you can go if you wanna. Great learning. Okay, thank you so much. Yes? So, let's see. The last one is this, the washing line. Imagine that you want to help your students learn this new vocabulary about clothes. Yes? So, what is the typical one? The typical one is that you have your flashcard with a t-shirt and you say t-shirt and they repeat. Yes, that is the typical one? Yes or no? Yes or no? That is the typical one, right? But what can be different? What can be different that everybody, or at least I think everybody has at home? It's a washing line. Yes, where you hang your clothes. Yes or no? So you can imitate this in your room. Yes, in your classroom, and they are going to elaborate their own clothes. And for that, they are going to use newspapers. They are going to cut a page of a newspaper in the shape of a hat, gloves, pants, whatever you want to teach. Yes? And they are going to use this is the name, they are going to use the clothes pegs, las pinzas, los ganchos, and they are going to hang their own clothes. Aha, but that is not the end. After some minutes that they practice what they have in their lines, you are going to say, okay, now close your eyes. They are going to close their eyes. You are going to have some off. Yes? So you are going to take some clothes off the line. And then if they had 7, now they have 5. You say, okay, now you have 5. What is missing? Do you remember? That is the challenge. If students can remember their own clothes, you can work this with colors, no? For example, not just using the newspaper, but maybe they have their own clothes, yes? And they have, for example, blue t-shirt, red t-shirt, green t-shirt, and you just take off one, the blue one, and okay, what they have now? They have just the red and the green t-shirt. So what is missing? The blue one. So they can practice. Yes? Do you like it? Do you like it, yes or no? Okay, nobody says anything. I am worried about this.
Yes, I love it.
They are writing on the chat, I guess. Yes, it's interesting.
Yes, Miss Milagros, they are
Yeah, because the
fine.
chatting is like exploding.
Yes.
Teacher, hello. Yes, it's amazing,
Marie.
amazing, teacher.
Yes, you like it?
I
Okay,
love it.
perfect,
Yes.
perfect, yes. So, this is a suggested vocabulary, no? Vest, belt, everything here you have shawl, etc. Yes? So, we are going to finish in some minutes, yes? And just give me a second, please. Yo hasta ahora ya. Hello. Okay. Let's see. a second.
Miss, sorry.
Yes, yes, please. Yes, please.
Carolina has an interesting question on that chat.
Okay.
I don't know if
Yes,
you can
it
answer.
says, Miss, I have a question for you. For example, this activity is adequate for motivation or like part of the practice. Excellent. Y ayer justamente, acá está mi cuadernito, no me deja mentir. I was writing about this, yes? There are two types of exercises. One, can you see me? I don't know if you can see me. Can you see me?
No, we're seeing like
No. Okay, yeah. Imaginaba eso. Okay, thank you.
PPT.
There is one activity called warmer. Yes, that is the warm up. And there is another one called cooler. Did you know that? There is a warmer and also there is a cooler activity.
The cooler is
the
for the end
difference?
of the session?
At the end of the session to consolidate information. So the activities that I have presented today can be used as a warmer at the beginning of your class, maybe if you are going to use that to present the topic, yes, or maybe you can use this as a production if they have to speak or they have to write, or maybe as a cooler if this is going to just take 5 minutes or 8 minutes of your class at the end as a consolidation. It's not a production. For example, this washing line, what do you think can be better? For a warmer or for a cooler? It's going to depend on you. Maybe in the class, you have presented the topics, you practice, etc. And then you want to know how much they remember. Yes? So you can work this as a cooler, as the last activity for them. Or maybe you want to introduce the topic using this activity. So that is going to be a warmer. Okay, so there is not an established rule. You say, oh, this is for the beginning and this is for the end. No, it's going to depend how you match. Okay, how you match. Let's see. I don't know if you can see me actually with this, but I hope that you felt the love that we wanted to share with you, because every activity has been planned with a lot of we think, you know, can this be helpful for them? Can they use it or not? So what do you think? What do you think? Did you feel that love? Yes or no? Just tell me. Did you feel? Yes, Shirley, tell me why. Tell me why, very quickly. Tell me why you felt that I delivered with love all this information. Tell me why. I was thinking about me or I was thinking about you? Who was the purpose? I was thinking about Milagros, or it was about you?
About us.
Excellent. That is what I want to say is when the teacher thinks about the students, yes, because in this moment, I am the teacher and you are the students. When the teacher plans all the class and has everything prepared according to the students, everything is perfect. So please, don't try just to get resources, just to get them. You can get ideas in the internet, but apply them correctly, adapt them correctly, retell the story, rewrite the sentences. Don't just use links, and that's it. No, don't do that, please. Adapt them, okay? And then you are going to notice this, what you are saying. Yes, what you are saying, because I thought about you, and the students are going to feel exactly the same. Como me encanta regalar, les voy a dar dos cositas más. Yes? Another one is a detective clues. This is very nice. It says students, and you have this info in the mail. Students make groups. In each group, one student is the secretary and the others are detectives. These are clues on the wall around the classroom. So you have these people, yes, these people in the class. The detectives memorize the clues. What are the clues? These are the clues. Esto que ustedes ven aquí va a estar pegado en diferentes partes. Diferentes partes, yes? Here it says, for example, y acá tenemos a los personajes que no tienen nombre, no tienen edad. ¿Eso dónde está? In the clues. The woman with the cat is 30 years old. Alguien lo leyó allá a la esquina. Viene. With the cat is 30. The woman cat 30. The woman cat 30. Ah, ve a la mujer que está aquí con el gato. ¿Y qué va a hacer? Age 30. Yes. Dice nombre. Todavía falta el nombre. What else? Another clue. Edward is to the left of Bob. Oh, who is Edward? Who is Bob? No, we don't know. Another clue. Sally likes music. Ah, okay. Viene por allá el alumno corriendo. Sally likes music. Okay. Music, yes, this is, yes. Ah, Sally, name. Ya tenemos el nombre. So, in this way, they are going to walk, they are going to move, they are going to read, they are going to memorize, they are going to complete. Yes. La secretaria en realidad es la que completa, la que está ahí pegadita a las imágenes para que ella es la que escribe. Ya, si alguien entiende mal, eso es otra cosa. ¿Yes? Ok, so, ¿qué les parece esta actividad? A mí me encanta, ¿yes? Porque es un rompecabezas. Y esta actividad se llama, o es una actividad de critical thinking. Esas actividades en que el alumno tiene que resolver algún tipo de problemas, tiene que pensar la solución a algo determinado, son actividades de critical thinking y se pueden usar en cualquier momento. Dentro de critical thinking están los pupiletras, los crucigramas, los anagramas, que es otra manera. ¿Qué es un anagrama? Por ejemplo, vamos a hacer una poesía, to say something, no sé, vamos a hacer una poesía o una agenda. Entonces, escribes oraciones en forma de agenda o en forma de libro. Vamos a hablar del Perú. Entonces, haces el mapa del Perú, pero solamente con las letras. ¿Yes? Con las letras. Es muy bonito. Y a quien me puso hace un momento que usaba hangman, ¿yes? El ahorcado. Bueno, acá tengo una variación. Ya no sería hangman, sería shark. Fíjense acá. La idea es exactamente la misma. Palabras o para completar. Acá puedo poner yo a un costado las letras que el alumno va a utilizar, algunas demás, por supuesto, para que sobren. Y acá el tiburón, ¿ya? Lo tengo en la pizarra. Entonces, van adivinando, se van equivocando, nadie se ahorca, sino que el tiburón va subiendo hasta que se come a la persona. ¿Ya? Esto lo pueden hacer incluso escenificado, ¿no? Pueden traer ahí como una máscara de tiburón, etcétera. Entonces uno es el que participa y el otro va adivinando en el salón, se equivoca y lo va comiendo. Es algo muy divertido, pero nuevamente va a depender de ustedes. Hasta aquí, mis estimadas, ¿tienen alguna pregunta? Por favor, ¿qué les ha parecido? Yes, very quickly, porque falta algo más. Yes. Okay, Lucy, okay, excellent. Thank you so much. Yes. And just to finish, my dear, yes, acá están los dos webs, estas son las webs. Yo en este momento voy a tratar de compartirles en un momento por WhatsApp. Voy a mandarles la presentación por WhatsApp, ¿les parece? Ya, les voy a mandar la presentación por WhatsApp para que ustedes la puedan tener. Es poquita la información aquí, pero puede ser importante. And so, just to finish, quisiera también comentarles lo siguiente. No solamente es el regalo de esta conferencia, sino quiero regalarles estos cupones de descuentos. Y es aquellos profesores que ya trabajaron con nosotros, aquellos que son nuevos, queremos darles este regalo especial. Son cursos que todavía no se han publicado para el mes de septiembre, no se han publicado, busquen la página, no se han publicado. Ustedes son los primeros en saber. un cupón del 40% de descuento para el curso de pronunciación básico con un material exclusivo, con plataforma también, acceso a la plataforma y las grabaciones, pero eso es en vivo, este curso es en vivo. Comienza el sábado 9 de septiembre de 9:30 a 11:30, ¿yes? Son 4 sesiones súper intensivas, lo dicto yo, son súper intensivas y acá si tú no conoces tu aparato fonador lo vas a aprender cómo funciona, vas a aprender a usarlo, hay muchos ejercicios por resolver y audios para escuchar, así que este es un curso súper completo. El precio regular es 90 soles, pero si aplicas este cupón de descuento, ya saca tu calculadora y fíjate cuánto lo vas a pagar. Si quieres mejorar tu speaking, tu habilidad comunicativa, vamos a estar en clases por 4 sesiones los miércoles a partir del 6 de septiembre de 8 a 9:30 de la noche, es 1 hora y media, donde te voy a dar también material, vas a conversar, vas a mejorar en 4 sesiones, esa es la garantía. El curso vale 60 soles y el cupón de descuento es del 20%. Y por último, si quieres mejorar tu nivel gramatical y el uso de vocabulario a nivel de Upper Intermediate, esto no es para básico, no, esto es Upper Intermediate con ejercicios tipo FCE, porque vamos a usar un material de preparación internacional. No es un curso de preparación internacional, es solamente gramática y vocabulario destinado a Upper Intermediate Level con características de examen internacional. Vas a ordenar, vas a sacar las palabras que no van, hay que reescribir oraciones de acuerdo a las palabras que te dan. Es maravilloso este curso y van a ser los domingos, empezando el domingo 10 de septiembre, también son 4 sesiones de 9:30 a 11:30 y el precio es de 90 soles y también te llevas un cupón. Así que si tú quieres estar en estos cursos, lo único que vas a hacer es lo siguiente. ¿Listo? En este momento quiero que todos los participantes, por favor, voy a dejar de compartir, me escriban su nombre completo. ¿Por qué? Porque en el formulario que ustedes han completado me han puesto solo un nombre y un apellido. No han puesto nombre completo, a menos que ustedes quieran que salga así su certificado. Pero si quieren que salga con el nombre completo, tendrán por favor que poner todo el nombre completo. Háganlo de una vez antes de que yo cierre la sala. ¿Yes? Nombre completo. Tal cual ustedes lo están escribiendo acá, lo vamos a validar con la lista, ¿yes? Que tenemos de inscritos. Teníamos 78 inscritos en la mañana. Así que vamos a ver cómo están. Aparte porque eso demuestra que están activos y les vamos a dar su constancia, ¿yes? Ok, quisiera verlos, a ver, ahora sí, más relajados, quiero verlos, qué les ha parecido, qué les parecen los cupones, qué les parece en general la escuela, la conocían, no la conocían, me habían visto, no me habían visto, please, coméntenme. Ah, esa carita me encanta, Milagro, la hemos visto con ella en Scholarship, ¿yes? Veo muchos nombres conocidos. Please, quedo atenta a sus comentarios y también, ¿por qué no, algunas sugerencias? Thank you, Yuri.
Hello, teacher. Hello. Bueno, muy
Hi, Mari.
agradecida de verdad con todas esas estrategias, actividades, de verdad, muy nutritiva la mañana. Estoy por aquí recién también comprando algunas cosas para las clases, entonces motivada, profe. Muchas
Qué
gracias.
bueno, qué bueno. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yes, hi.
Okay, thank you,
¿Alguien más?
yes.
Thank you, Mari. ¿Alguien más? A mí también esto me motiva, esto me llena, yes. Hemos estado preparando este material, por eso me desaparecí del TikTok una semana, creo, porque no es fácil encontrar tantos materiales, algo que les sume, ¿no? Algo que les sume, yes. Thank you, Jenny. Dice, I took classes before with you, that's why I joined to this webinar. Thank you so much. Y les quiero compartir, si les ha gustado esta conferencia, les comento que este viernes 25 de agosto tenemos la segunda conferencia gratis, ¿ok? Tenemos otro webinar. El título de este webinar va a ser First Steps to Teach Pronunciation in Your Class. Así que si tú no sabías cómo enseñar pronunciación o estás haciéndolo a tu manera y quieres formalizar esto, nos vamos a encontrar este viernes 25 a las 8:15 de la noche hasta las 9:15 de la noche. ¿Ok? Sacrifica tu viernes y aprende algo más si es que tú quieres. Ya nos venimos pronto con los talleres presenciales, Luis Alberto. Sí, es una de las novedades que tenemos. Antes del fin de año ya estamos pensando en la locación donde lo vamos a tener. No se preocupe. Es un paso a paso, ¿cierto? Porque a todos el tema de la virtualidad, etcétera, ha impactado en todos, pero creo que no podríamos tener tantas personas con tan lindos rostros y felices si fuera en un solo lugar. También tiene las ventajas. Ok, no hay nadie más que va a escribir su nombre, entonces esos son todos los nombres que vamos a utilizar para hacer las constancias. Aquellos que no están aquí, la constancia saldrá con el nombre que han dejado en el link del webinar. ¿Ok? A ver, para cerrar, thank you. ¿Quiénes quieren o quiénes quisieran unirse a estos 3 cursos que he avisado? Quienes quisieran tener la oportunidad, para decirles cómo tienen que hacer, quienes quisieran tener la oportunidad de recibir estos 3 cupones, 40% de descuento en gramática, 40% de descuento en pronunciación, 20% en speaking. Yo, genial. ¿Qué es lo que van a hacer? Cuando reciban su constancia de, participación, ¿yes? Que va a llegar entre el día martes a más tardar a sus correos electrónicos, ustedes van a escribir lo siguiente: yo quiero mi cupón. Así tal cual, en el correo van a poner: yo quiero mi cupón para gramática, yo quiero mi cupón para speaking, o quiero los 3 cupones, depende de ustedes. Vamos a utilizar su correo electrónico y lo vamos a cruzar con el teléfono que nos han dejado para darle los pasos de inscripción. ¿Les parece bien? Solamente aquellas, para no bombardear de información, solamente aquellas personas que reciben la constancia, quiere decir que han estado hoy día aquí, primero. Segundo, aquellos que dicen yo quiero, es porque sí quieren, a esas personas les daremos la información. ¿Ok? En Facebook, lo demás, ustedes van a ver los precios regulares. Para ustedes, como les digo, esta es la primera vez que estamos sacando este webinar, así que lo vamos a hacer. Quiero utilizar otro correo, por favor. Por favor, Patricia, escribe al WhatsApp donde te has contactado y di: este es el número que dejé, el correo que dejé, pero por favor quiero cambiarlo para mañana verlo. Listo, that's it. Soy Milagros Correa, esta es la Escuela de Capacitación. Muchísimas gracias por haber estado conmigo. 2 horas, yo planeé una, pero bueno, como siempre, cuando uno tiene mucha información, así, se va el tiempo volando. Thank you so much and see you next class. Voy a dejar 5 minutos habilitados.
Una consultita antes de terminar. Quería saber si uno se inscribe a esos cupones, las fechas que vamos a estar en aquellos cursos, ¿darán alguna certificación por participación?
Sí. En
También.
el curso de pronunciación, el certificado es de 80 horas académicas. En el curso de gramática, perdón, en los 3, en el de pronunciación, speaking y gramática, es un certificado digital al término del curso por 80 horas académicas. Ya, aparte, ustedes, si quieren, pueden tener el certificado avalado por el Colegio de Profesores del Perú, que tiene un costo adicional. Eso es opcional. Pero nosotros, al término, y cuando los alumnos han entregado sus prácticas, sus ejercicios, les entregamos digitalmente 80 horas, Rosemary. 80 horas es el certificado digital. Vamos con Carmen y con Lucy. Please. Carmen.
Miss, disculpe, sí, Miss, muy agradecida por sus clases, por sus enseñanzas. Le quería preguntar, ¿cuándo dice que va a ser el próximo webinar? ¿Que va a ser ratito?
Este viernes 25 de agosto a las 8:15 de la noche, va a ser la misma forma, un registro, se tienen que registrar primero, ¿ok?
Ya.
Para poder enviarles el material. Y el tema es First Steps to Teach Pronunciation in Class. No voy a hablar ni de primaria ni de secundaria, voy a hablar de manera general y luego hacemos las variaciones. Así como...
Ya.
¿Ok?
Empieza a las 8:15, me dice, ¿no?
8:15 p.m. hasta las 9:15, ya pónganle 10 porque a veces me pasa un poquito más, ¿no? Pero ahí va, ¿yes?
Ya,
Ok,
Miss.
grupo
Y
de
entonces,
WhatsApp
ya,
sigue.
sí me quedó claro, ya, gracias, Miss. Chao.
Thank you, Carmen. Voy a contestar a Luis. El grupo de WhatsApp sigue. Aquellos que no quieren que les mandemos notificaciones, simplemente salgan del grupo. Aquellos que quieren seguir recibiendo las notificaciones de los próximos webinars gratuitos, ese va a ser el grupo, ¿ok? Les voy avisando. Lucy, please, let's go with you.
Ante todo agradecer por tan bonito webinar, mucha información muy valiosa, que estoy segura que van a promover que tengamos una excelente didáctica en clase. Mi pregunta es, si A o B se nos cruzara, por ejemplo, estoy interesada en llevar algunos cursos, se me cruza el horario porque tengo un compromiso, ¿es necesario la asistencia o yo lo puedo regularizar viendo los videos?
Eh, el curso es de 4 sesiones. Al menos el alumno tiene que estar en 3. ¿Ok? Y esa otra que vas a faltar, bueno, puedes ver la grabación. No hay ningún problema. Ujú, no hay ningún problema. No te escucho,
Segundo,
estás
¿nos
apagada.
compartirá la grabación de esta clase o no?
Sí, la estoy grabando, así que sí se las voy a compartir a todos por el grupo, no hay problema, porque solo la constancia van a ser para aquellos que me están dejando aquí el nombre, así que no hay problema. Yes?
Muchas
Okay.
gracias por el favor.
Another question, something else. I want to be on Friday webinar, please. Okay, Zoila, ya sabes, mañana va a llegar el link de registro al grupo de WhatsApp y ahí se vuelven a registrar. Yes? Okay, that's it. Have an excellent Sunday. Espero verlas en los cursos, en el webinar, activamente también en nuestras redes. Thank you. See you. Goodbye. Voy a dejar rápidamente un minuto para los que no han escrito su nombre, lo escriban porque luego descargamos esto para las constancias. Yes?
Muchas gracias, mis Milagros. Bye
Okay,
bye.
una foto final. Okay, bye. Esto es un recordatorio. Okay, that's it.